Just because I lost an antique fountain pen, my place was completely ransacked. When I saw it, my belongings were scattered all over the floor, trampled with footprints everywhere. Sophia Taylor, protecting her childhood friend James Wilson, looked at me with eyes full of disgust. Ethan Johnson, if you need money, just ask me. Why do you have to be like your mother and be a thief? I picked up the pancake my mom made in the morning, which had been trampled to pieces, and stuffed it into my mouth bite by bite through my tears. Sophia Taylor, however, linked arms with James Wilson and said intimately, "Don't worry about it. I'll take you to the auction later, and I'll bid on whatever you like." Later, I left the company and was gone for 6 years. I deleted all contact information for Sophia Taylor. But when we met again, she grabbed my sleeve and cried her heart out. "Why did you leave me? Why don't you want me?" When I returned to the office, a crowd had gathered around my workstation. James Wilson was surrounded in the middle, speaking calmly. It seems to be a piece from the previous auction, forgot the exact amount, but it was probably over 10 million. Everyone gasped in shock. I was a bit confused and stepped forward, but the scene before me froze me instantly. The glass was shattered, several stacks of documents scattered on the floor, covered in footprints, and the soy milk that hadn't been drunk yet was spilled, slowly seeping into the computer tower. Sophia Taylor rushed over anxiously and grabbed James Wilson's hand. "Did you cut your hand?" "James, for my sake, don't be so petty. Next time I'll go with you to the auction. Whatever you want, I'll pay for it all." They still haven't noticed me and are still eagerly discussing. Could it be Supervisor Johnson? Can't you tell what Miss Taylor means? Isn't she just covering for Supervisor Johnson? He just did stuff something into the drawer. Stealing tens of millions just like that. Supervisor Johnson's appetite is way too big. His mother was already dirty. What do you call this? The son of a rat knows how to dig holes. With a trembling voice, I finally managed to squeeze out, "I didn't take his stuff." From their words, I finally pieced together the whole story. James Wilson's collection was missing, and they thought I took it, so they came to search my workstation. Everyone stared at me strangely, their eyes like sharp swords. I couldn't understand how the colleagues who greeted me with a smile in the morning could be talking behind my back. The colleagues remained silent, and Sophia Taylor stepped forward, standing in front of James Wilson. The impatience in her eyes was so obvious. "Ethan," James Wilson grabbed her wrist. "Forget it, Sophia. I don't need this pen, and besides, it can't be sold. What matters is the value. If you can't find it, forget it. I don't want to pursue it further. Just consider it as losing an ordinary pen." James Wilson's words seemed like an attempt to smooth things over, but the way others looked at me became even more meaningful. He could have simply said, "Ethan Johnson didn't take it. Maybe I accidentally lost it." But his vague wording only deepened my suspicion. "Go check the surveillance. I told you I didn't take it." I awkwardly squeezed out these words, desperately wanting to prove my innocence. Sophia Taylor gently patted his hand, then turned to face me. She softly patted my back. "All right, Ethan, don't make a fuss. I'm here." Why? Why does she have the same attitude? I bent down and picked up a plastic bag from the ground. Inside was a pancake that had been trampled and deformed by the crowd. "This is a pancake my mom sent me. I was in a hurry when I left today, and she was worried I would be hungry. Enough." Sophia Taylor raised her voice. "Ethan Johnson, how much money do you want?" I was stunned. "Didn't I tell you?" "I know you're in trouble. If you're short on money, just tell me. I can afford any amount, but why do you have to be so dirty about it? What do you know? That pen is a collectible. Even if you steal it, you can't sell it. Do you even understand any of this?" Sophia Taylor looked disgusted, and I suddenly remembered something James Wilson told me a long time ago. "You don't understand the life of the upper class. Sophia and I are the same kind of people. You can't squeeze into our world. Not even the tip of your shoe can touch it. I finally understand now. But facing my girlfriend's accusations, I still can't help but feel heartbroken. Sophia, it's really not me. We can check the surveillance." She suddenly took off the bracelet on her wrist and slammed it hard against me. "That was our token of love. Aren't you just sure that the security maintenance is happening today and the surveillance system won't be working?" My heart jolted violently. Her red lips parted and closed, and I finally heard the word that sent chills down my spine. "You're just like your mom, always stealing." I didn't listen to the rest. Clutching the now misshapen pancake, I left the company. It was just lunchtime, and I sat in the dim stairwell, awkwardly biting into this piece of bread that had been stepped on by many people. This was made by my mom, with With so much meat inside, I love it the most. Even so, I can't waste it. It's not dirty or anything. I took big bites, tried to distract myself, and not think about Sophia Taylor's attitude just now. Are you still angry? Sophia Taylor pushed open the stairwell door and frowned when she saw me crouching. She looked down at me from above, trying to snatch the pancake from my hand. Stop eating it. So many people have stepped on it. It's unnecessary. If you want to eat a pancake, I'll have someone buy one for you right now. I ignored her, silently gripping the bag and passing by her as she tried to leave the stairwell. Sophia Taylor grew a bit anxious. What are you doing? Are you avoiding me? I smiled. I just want to eat quietly. Besides, what if this kind of food for poor people makes you cough? Sophia Taylor sighed and tried to comfort me by reaching for my hand, but I pulled away. Ethan, I'll help you talk to them about that pen. I refused her. You don't need to handle it. Because it really has nothing to do with me. But Sophia Taylor was angered by my words. What are you trying to prove? If you don't rely on me, do you think you can handle it yourself? Do you even know how much James's pen is worth? I have a good relationship with him. As long as I plead for you, he won't pursue it. Her expression and tone both clearly told me that she had already decided I was the thief with dirty hands. The grievance had faded away, replaced by an infinite calm. I looked at the woman in front of me, and the love in my heart gradually calmed down. If you want to think that way, there's nothing I can do. After dropping that sentence, I left the stairwell. She once said she hated this indifferent attitude the most. Every time we argued before, I would communicate with her sincerely. This was the first time I used such a tone to brush her off. I seemed to hear Sophia Taylor stomping angrily, but I didn't look back. And Sophia Taylor didn't come after me anymore. From that day on, we fell into a cold war. She disappeared somewhere and didn't show up at the company for a long time. There wasn't a single message pinned at the top of WeChat on my phone. James Wilson didn't bother me anymore, but the isolation at the company had already begun. My workstation was moved to a corner inside the office, far away from everyone else. The subordinates in my group sneered as they explained, Supervisor Johnson is a leader, so he definitely needs a private space to work. That's why we moved you over there. At lunchtime, they no longer invited me to join them. When 2 or 3 people left the office together, someone would always loudly remind, lock your cabinets, put away valuables, everyone be cautious. I know who these words are meant for, but I clearly did nothing, yet no one believes me. I struggled all the way, got into a prestigious university, fought tooth and nail at the job fair to get into Taylor Company, and, after working hard for a long time, finally got promoted and barely managed to stand firm. A few words from James Wilson easily shattered all my efforts. These days continued until the day of the company team-building event. We chose a large outdoor activity venue, and colleagues paired up in groups of 2 or 3, all engaged in activities. Sophia Taylor hadn't appeared for a long time. James Wilson was surrounded by people, and I was still the only one alone. For some reason, someone took the initiative to start a conversation with me. Yo, Supervisor Johnson, your mom came too. What a deep mother-son bond. I looked into the distance. My mom was making pancakes at a stall. My mom runs a stall, and I've never hidden my family situation. Wherever there's an event and a crowd, she goes there to set up her stall, just to earn a bit more money. Before, I even treated every one of the pancakes my mom made, and back then they all said they were delicious. Now, when they see my mom bustling around, their eyes are full of mockery. Why did you come chasing after her again? Can't let go of our Supervisor Johnson. Huh? So you're here to make some extra cash. How to make money? Sell a few more family pancake sets, or sneakily take some valuable things to sell. Everyone burst into laughter. Then someone righteously reminded everyone to keep their valuables safe and watch out for sneaky middle-aged women around. When they said these things, they never avoided me, their eyes lingering on me. I was both ashamed and angry, wanting to leave and argue with them. But skipping work would mean a pay cut, and I needed the money. I stood with my head down for a long time, and when I looked up again, I found that my mom's small stall was gone. After enduring this humiliating day, I returned home. Standing at the entrance of the old, run-down apartment, I glanced at my phone again. Sophia Taylor's message box was still quiet. You're back. Wash your hands and come eat. My mom opened the door, saw me, wiped her hands, and pulled me inside. Today's meal was especially abundant. I smiled and said, Is it New Year's? Who would have thought that this one sentence would bring tears to my mom's eyes? Ethan, did I embarrass you? I heard everything during the day. My heart ached, but I still smiled and said it was just a joke. Sophia is a very outstanding girl. I'm not trying to discourage you, but our conditions really don't match hers. Ethan, if you're tired, you can rest anytime. Mom is fine. She just wants you to be well. A sense of powerlessness overwhelmed me. My mom made some money early on by catching a business trend, but then my dad got sick and all the money was spent. Jealous people couldn't stand to see her making money and gossiped behind her back. The rumors grew more and more outrageous. After my dad passed away, my mom didn't dare to go out for a long time. Later, her heart also started having problems, and she had to spend money to take care of it. So she had no choice but to set up a small stall selling pancakes. I'm her only relative. How could I possibly ignore her? So what if I'm isolated? So what if people point fingers and gossip? As long as my mom is still here, I can endure anything. Wait for Sophia Taylor to come back, and I'll make things clear with her, return to my own world, and live a good life with my mom. From then on, we would go our separate ways. That's what I thought, but reality didn't give me the chance. Not long after, my mom suddenly fell ill. Cannot do heavy work, must stay in bed and rest. I can't afford to pay a caregiver's salary. So out of helplessness, I had to apply for annual leave. The colleague in charge of leave is close to James Wilson, who gave my application a half smile and then reassigned me. Ethan Johnson, you can take a break, but the supervisor position cannot be left vacant. It's fine, go rest. But I clearly won't delay my work. I'm known as a workaholic in the company. No matter when, as long as there's a task, I can come up with a plan at the fastest speed. Taking a leave of absence was only out of necessity, so I could take care of my mom while working. But I can't stop, otherwise there really won't be any money left. I stayed in the hospital ward, busy running around to take care of my mom. 2 days later, I saw James Wilson in the hospital. He was dressed in designer clothes, smelling of disinfectant, frowning with disdain. Ethan Johnson, are you still unwilling to bend your poor man's pride? I ignored him and carried the basin into the ward. After helping my mom wash up, he still waited at the door, smiling innocently. Auntie, I'm Ethan's supervisor. I want to have a talk with him. My mom was very frightened and pushed me out. On the quiet rooftop, James Wilson opened his bag, flipped through it with his fingers, sneered, and took out a wad of cash, tossing at my feet. Here is $30,000 in cash. I didn't take it, and he handed me a card again. Only then did I notice he had a pen clipped to his chest pocket. Nice, isn't it? I spent over $20 million to get it. What exactly do you mean? I asked warily. James Wilson smiled calmly. I was wondering why my collection went missing. Turns out you really need money. You should have said so earlier. Sophia, and I never lack money. Helping you would be a matter of minutes. The money on this card is enough for you to take your mom for treatment. Pack up and leave Chicago as soon as possible. Staying here won't get you any famous doctors, and you won't have any money either. The phone rang with a notification of the salary deposit. The pay gap between supervisors and regular employees was huge, and I only received a few thousand like a regular employee. This amount of money was just a drop in the bucket for the treatment. James Wilson laughed even more wildly. Let's go. Find a good doctor and take a good rest. How much clearer do you want me to be? Sophia is your girlfriend. Can you guess why she hasn't contacted you for so long? For people in our class, dating someone with your conditions is already very embarrassing. You're still doing the kind of thing in front of the public. Sophia has long been disgusted with you. I can't find you. Actually, it was her idea. The password for this card is your anniversary with her. Now that it's come to this, do you understand? The eldest daughter of the Taylor family has had enough. She hopes you can take the breakup money and leave on your own. Really? I tentatively sent a message to Sophia Taylor. All doubts vanished the moment I saw the red exclamation mark. I gave a bitter smile, picked up the money and bank card from the ground. I'll move out tomorrow. James Wilson was very pleased with this outcome. He chuckled lightly. It's important for people to have self-awareness. Having money is great. I quickly completed the hospital transfer, and within a few days, I had already taken my mom to Houston, thousands of miles away. This money helped control my mom's illness, and her health improve a lot. I also found a new job here, living frugally every month, just to pay off this debt as soon as possible. 6 years passed, and I finally owed them nothing. The relationship with Sophia Taylor was also buried deep in my memory. We really are not from the same world, so why insist on being together? But I didn't expect that, after all this time, I would still be able to reunite with Sophia Taylor. That day was an ordinary business networking event. I wasn't originally scheduled to attend, but my boss suddenly asked me to bring some documents to the convention center. Since I was already there, he had me stay and help out. The leader appreciates my work ability and also intends to promote me. People come and go at the venue, and I'm so busy that my feet never touch the ground. When someone grabbed the corner of my clothes, I still maintained a businesslike tone. Hello, how can I help you? But when I turned around, I saw Sophia Taylor. 2 lines of tears hung on her overly delicate face, her eyes red as she stared at me intently, as if afraid I would disappear from her sight. In that instant, I was somewhat caught off guard. But seeing James Wilson with a sullen face beside her, I found it amusing again. I tightly grasped the fingers of Sophia Taylor, clutching my shirt, breaking them one by one. I smiled politely and said, "Ma'am, my colleague will come to assist you shortly. Please wait a moment." But before I had taken a few steps away, my arm was tightly grabbed again. "Ethan, 6 years. Why did you leave me?" I didn't look back at her, just paused for a moment and shook her off. "It's our time now. I hope the lady won't disturb me while I'm working." Sophia Taylor looked down at her empty palm, stood there stunned, and gave a bitter smile. "I'll wait for you. I will wait for you forever." James Wilson called out to her somewhat awkwardly, but was sternly stopped by Sophia Taylor. After saying something, James Wilson left resentfully and never came back. I continued with my work, only that there was one more person beside the booth. Sophia Taylor stared at me intently, staying until the exhibition ended. After finishing the organizing work with my colleagues, I was about to go home when I heard the sound of quick footsteps behind me. "I'll walk you home." I calmly shook my head. "No need. You just wait here for me. It won't take long." She didn't listen to a word I said. The convention center was very crowded today. I waited for a while, but still couldn't get a taxi. Sophia Taylor had already driven the car up to me. "Ethan, get in." 6 years apart, Sophia Taylor was still as beautiful as ever. The car she was driving looked expensive at a glance. I didn't even know what brand it was or how many tens of thousands it was worth. Sure enough, we were not from the same world. I said I don't need it. Sophia Taylor, having been rejected by me twice in a row, had red-rimmed eyes. "What right do you have to treat me like this? We haven't broken up yet." This sentence made me laugh out loud. Is there any couple who deletes each other on WeChat and doesn't contact each other for 6 years? But you didn't tell me face to face. Wasn't she the one who got bored first and used money to send me away? I've left. The money has been paid off, so why is Sophia Taylor, such a high and mighty heiress, still chasing after me? Then I'm officially telling you now. Miss Taylor, heiress of the Taylor family, we broke up 6 years ago. Breaking up isn't like divorce. It doesn't require both parties' consent. I think you should understand that being disconnected for a week equals an implicit breakup. Sophia Taylor rushed out of the car, suddenly threw herself into my arms, and shouted with a hint of crying, "I didn't. I said no breakup means no breakup." I was just about to push her away when someone beat me to it. A strong force pulled me aside. James Wilson watched me warily, shielding Sophia Taylor behind him. "Sophia, Mr. Wong is still waiting to discuss the collaboration with you. Let's go, okay? Our career is important." James Wilson's tone was very gentle, like coaxing a child, clearly showing that they had a close relationship. Sophia Taylor frowned, and while she was being stopped, I quickly hailed a tricycle by the roadside and went home. Seeing Sophia Taylor, I didn't feel any excitement at all. I only thought about how I could still run into them, and whether I could ever live a peaceful life again. 6 years ago, the one who didn't believe me was her. The one who thought I was embarrassing was her. The one who didn't even show up for the breakup and let James Wilson humiliate me with money was also her. I don't understand. Who is she trying to show with this look of regret now? Someone like me, just an ordinary person, was nothing more than a plaything for a young lady. Brother, $10. As we near the destination, I scanned the payment for the driver. The driver, with a cigarette dangling from his mouth, teased, "Youth is truly wonderful. Watching you 2 young lovers argue, I feel like I'm seeing the past." I smiled wryly. The driver probably thought Sophia Taylor and I were a couple. Not at all. She's about to marry that handsome guy behind her. This really isn't baseless rumor. Just now at the convention, everyone around who knows Sophia Taylor was asking her when the wedding would be. My master realized he had misspoken and awkwardly fell silent. We had just arrived home, so I got out of the car. I rented an apartment in an old neighborhood where the street lights at the entrance always malfunction, and today was no different. They were still off. I turned on the flashlight on my phone and prepared to enter and go upstairs. The shadow next to the big iron gate suddenly stood up. I was almost startled. Sophia Taylor stood in front of me with tear-filled eyes. "Ethan, I haven't told you yet. Long time no see." I really couldn't understand what she wanted to do, so I remained silent. My gaze shifted downward, and I saw the Chanel bag she was carrying. There was a very childish little pig charm on the bag, which didn't match her expensive designer brand at all. That was the one I had given her before. I liked that little pig charm at first sight. It reminded me of her silly and adorable look. But when Sophia Taylor received it, she only lightly complimented it as cute and never used it. When I asked her, she just said it didn't suit her identity. But now she can wear it out. But I no longer like the little pig. If there's nothing else, Miss Taylor, you should head back early. I issued the order to send her off. Won't you let me go up and see? We haven't seen each other for so long. I suddenly remembered a popular saying online. A good ex should be like they're dead. I think our relationship isn't suited for that. Miss Taylor, we are not from the same world. You should go find your fiancé. After being delayed for so long, my emotions finally surged up. When I moved to this city with the money James Wilson gave me, I couldn't sleep every day. I was worried about my mom's illness while trying to control my emotions. Whenever I close my eyes, all I see are scenes of my mom leaving me, and James Wilson leading a group of people accusing me. Their eyes stare straight at me, their lips moving as they call me a thief. I reached into my pocket, and that priceless pen was really there. Countless times at midnight, I woke up drenched in cold sweat, tossing and turning, unable to fall back asleep. Because I am just an ordinary person from a humble background, but still with pride. I'm not magnanimous enough to forget. I just locked them deep in my heart. Sophia Taylor opened her mouth, looking at me with some surprise. Even if you were a billionaire heiress, I am just an ordinary person. I want to live my own life. You can't handle my life, so please don't come and disrupt my life anymore, okay? Her expression became very sorrowful, as if there were 1,000 words in her eyes. But in the end, she didn't say anything more. It's late, you should go back and rest. She stepped aside, giving the stairs back to me. I turned and went upstairs, deliberately ignoring the gaze behind me. My mom laid out the pancakes I loved to eat again, and I happily ate 2 big pieces. This kind of simple life was enough. But I didn't expect that my reunion with them would come so soon. 3 days later, the boss asked me to coordinate with the partner and have a meal together. In the private room, I saw Sophia Taylor, James Wilson, and many former colleagues again. Before we set off, the leader specifically told me that the other party had given us several percentage points of profit margin, making this deal extremely profitable. He couldn't leave, so he told me to make sure to entertain the other party well. Looking at James Wilson's malicious gaze, I put on a businesslike smile. I don't cause trouble, but trouble still finds me. While Sophia Taylor went to the restroom, James Wilson blocked me at the private room door. Guys, please pick up your valuables from the table. Many colleagues who knew the reason quickly placed their bags on their laps. Some new faces also pulled those around them to ask what was going on, and the whispering voices started up again. Sorry, Mr. Johnson, but since you've made mistakes before, it's normal for me to be cautious. I'm still quite worried that you might take things without permission. James Wilson raised his voice, and the curious gazes of the crowd once again fell on me. Make yourself clear. Don't deliberately make people overthink. This time, I didn't back down. Facing James Wilson, I stepped closer and closer to him, and he began to feel guilty, retreating continuously. What are you afraid of? Afraid I'll expose the truth about you falsely accusing me of stealing back then, right? Mr. Wilson, why are you still so impatient? After all this time, your first reaction is still to attack me? James Wilson remained stubborn. Don't be impulsive. Anyway, I'm no longer concerned about that pen. I suddenly smashed a glass, picked up a sharp shard, and pointed it at his face. You know very well in your heart whether that so-called priceless pen is really lost. I've already started over somewhere else. If you still want to keep throwing dirt on me, fine, the barefoot aren't afraid of those wearing shoes. I'll play along with you. A rich young master like James Wilson was probably being threatened for the first time and finally panicked. He looked behind me and spoke in a wrong tone. Sophia. I put away the fragments and saw Sophia Taylor standing at the entrance of the private room. The lighting was a bit dim, making it hard to see her expression. Sophia Taylor walked towards us step by step, and James Wilson immediately put on a smile. It's okay, don't make a fuss. After all, we were colleagues before. I'm fine, but Sophia Taylor ignored him. She walked straight up to me and reached out to take my hand. I dodged backward and realized that the shards had already cut my hand. Ethan, does it hurt? I'll go buy some medicine to treat it. James Wilson spoke incredulously. Sophia? You just tried to attack me. Sophia Taylor said coldly. You're not hurt, right? You also said you wouldn't pursue it, so don't bring it up. James Wilson stood there awkwardly stunned. She was protecting me, but I no longer needed it. Everyone was quite good at reading the situation. Seeing that Sophia Taylor treated me differently, they all put away their guarded expressions and warmly invited us to the table. I casually wiped the blood off my hands and once again showed a businesslike smile. Ms. Taylor, please, here's to a successful cooperation. The dinner party ended perfectly. I endured James Wilson's resentful glare and Sophia Taylor's lingering gaze and hosted them flawlessly. After the event, Sophia Taylor stopped me once again. She said, "Can't we just have a proper talk?" I refused once again. "Your fiancé is waiting for you." I pointed at James Wilson. Sophia Taylor panicked and hurriedly explained that their relationship was just a business alliance between elders and didn't count. "Ethan, look at this. The gift I brought you back then. I haven't had the chance to give it to you yet." She handed me a watch, exquisitely crafted, looking quite expensive. I didn't take it. "How much is this watch?" She was momentarily stunned. "It's a custom piece by an Italian jewelry master, one of a kind, not a mass-produced item." I nodded. "Pretty good. Give it to James Wilson. It goes well with his priceless pen." Sophia Taylor seemed a bit overwhelmed. She looked at my departing back and shouted out with a sobbing voice. "Ethan, what exactly do you want? It's been 6 years. Are you still not over it?" I ignored her and walked out resolutely. It seemed like James Wilson's comforting voice came from behind, but that had nothing to do with me anymore. After being busy for more than half a month, this project finally came to fruition. The boss gave me a few days off, and I breathed a sigh of relief, sleeping at home until noon. My mom went to work. After her condition was under control, she still couldn't stay idle and found a job as a cleaner. Fortunately, it wasn't too tiring, so I let her go. But I suddenly received a call from my coworker, Ms. Parker. "Ethan, come quickly. Your mom is in trouble." When I rushed to the hospital, my mind was buzzing. Clearly, she hasn't had an episode for such a long time. So what happened this time? Fortunately, in the hospital room, Mom was sleeping peacefully. The doctor said the situation wasn't very good, but at least it was under control for now. Ms. Parker angrily recounted the incident. "Your mom was on the early shift today. Around 4:30 in the morning, before dawn, I was near her cleaning area and saw a group of people littering on the main road. Your mom cleans this side, and they just throw it on the other side. Later, they throw down a soda can, deliberately going against your mom. When your mom tries to sweep, they kick it away. When she walks over, they kick it away again. My mom was so upset she couldn't catch her breath, and her old heart condition flared up again. The police said that group of people was drunk and had already compensated and apologized. I held 3,000 yuan in my hand, yet I still couldn't control the anger inside me. First, Sophia Taylor found me. Then James Wilson provoked me at the dinner, and then Sophia Taylor gave me a watch. My mom and I have been here for 6 years, always kind to others, and I've never argued with anyone. How could I possibly get into a dispute with someone at such a coincidental time? I don't believe it. All the clues point to James Wilson. Mom has to stay in the hospital for a while, so I went home to pack her belongings. At the entrance of the community, I saw Sophia Taylor again. Her eyes lit up, wanted to talk to me, but I was truly exhausted, so I pushed her away. Until I packed my things and came out, she was still waiting downstairs, even following me all the way to the hospital in her luxury car. After I finished the hospital admission procedures, fed my mom, and washed up, Sophia Taylor was still waiting outside the ward for me. I finally agreed to talk with her, and the two of us went to the stairwell together. After working nonstop all day and not having eaten a drop, I felt dizzy and almost collapsed. Sophia Taylor quickly caught me, her fingers gently running through my hair. It's okay. I'll help you, don't worry." This was something she often did when comforting me before. I closed my eyes and pushed her away. "What else does Miss Taylor want to say to me?" "I'm sorry, I didn't know Aunt was sick. Let me help too, and if you need money, just tell me." "Where's James Wilson?" I ignored her words, and Sophia Taylor was stunned. At my insistence, Sophia Taylor took me to the hotel where James Wilson was having dinner. This time it seemed to be an internal celebration banquet of their company, and at a glance, it was still those familiar faces. Just right. I quickly walked up and threw a punch straight at James Wilson's face. He looked at me in fear, but didn't dare to fight back. "Did you send someone to bully my mom?" He didn't say anything, so I punched him again. Sophia Taylor screamed, but didn't stop me. Didn't I say, the barefoot aren't afraid of those wearing shoes? Yeah, you're the eldest young master. Your worth is immeasurable, and I'm just an ordinary person. But if you hurt my family, then I have no choice but to confront you. At worst, I end up with nothing. Your family is so well off. If you die, you won't get to enjoy wealth and glory. Aren't you afraid? The former colleagues also panicked and huddled together, not a single one daring to come forward to stop me. Since everyone is here, let me give you something to listen to. I grabbed James Wilson by the collar, opened my phone, and played the recording. Ethan, I had no choice back then. I knew you didn't steal, but Mr. Wilson is Ms. Taylor's childhood friend, and he has so much power. He told me to send people to search and isolate you. I didn't dare disobey. I have a wife and kids at home too. Recognize him? Mr. Parker, who resigned a while ago. He could never escape the guilt in his heart and came to explain the truth to me after he left. Everyone listened to the recording. Their expressions varied. After a long silence, I didn't know who spoke first, but someone said sorry to me. I did not respond. I gave James Wilson a severe beating, and in the end, I took out the 3,000 yuan and slammed it hard onto his face. He, who was once surrounded by people, now lay on the ground wailing without any dignity. I left the hotel. Sophia Taylor chased after me, but I ignored her. While I was almost at the hospital, I packed some food for my mom and silently entered the ward. Sophia Taylor followed closely behind. After leaving the payment office, the two of them actually started chatting. My mom looked a bit haggard, and the way she looked at Sophia Taylor was full of gratitude. Ms. Taylor, you are a good girl. Ethan doesn't deserve you. I also have to thank you for lending Ethan that money. Otherwise, this old woman of mine would have been 6 feet under long ago. Sophia Taylor was stunned. What money? I never lent any. I couldn't stand it, so I grabbed her wrist and pulled her out of the hospital room. Once again, it was the stairwell. Every confrontation between her and me happened in the stairwell. Under the dim light, Sophia Taylor's face was covered in tears. What happened that I don't know about? I calmly told her about what happened that year. I've already paid off the money. The card should be with James Wilson. You can ask him for any time. Thank you for leaving me a way out until the very end. This sentence was sincere. My mom is the most important person to me. As long as I have money to save her, temporarily sacrificing my dignity doesn't matter. Don't say that. You don't have to pay me back. Sophia Taylor cried out, breaking down in tears. But we've already broken up, Sophia Taylor. I looked at her calmly. No, that money wasn't given to you by me. It wasn't my intention. I didn't know. I had no idea he would do that, let alone imply that you should take the initiative to quit. I don't want to break up. Then do you think I would steal James Wilson's pen? In just a few words, Sophia Taylor was stumped. In a few seconds, she hesitated. I'd already gotten my answer. See, we really are from different worlds. In the end, you still think I would do this because I'm short on money, right? You all have no money problems and don't understand the hardships of life. So you naturally assume I would do something without any principles just for money? Sophia Taylor's lips trembled, but she couldn't utter a single word in defense. She understood that when that incident happened, she did indeed look down on Ethan Johnson. She couldn't understand why Ethan Johnson would also, like an ordinary person, fall for money. Ethan, I was wrong about some things. Can you give me a chance? I will trust you wholeheartedly and won't let you suffer any grievances again. You know I can do it. Sophia Taylor certainly could, because she was the head of the Taylor family, a member of the high and mighty upper class. I stared into her tearful eyes and finally softened my tone, speaking to her with the attitude I had during our passionate love. Sophia, you need to let go, okay? You have to understand, you can't bear the burden of my life. You have many chances to make mistakes because you have the capital to start over, but I'm different. I just want to live my life well. We ended things 6 years ago. There's no point in dragging it out now. With that, I didn't want to hear any more from Sophia Taylor. As I passed by her, I heard her trembling. Okay. Thanks to the large order recently completed, I received a substantial bonus. James Wilson might have felt guilty, and he had someone return that card to me, so I got a large sum of money again. After resting in the hospital for a while, my mom recovered a lot and was clamoring to be discharged. My life was back on track again. Sophia Taylor and James Wilson never showed up again, and I was too lazy to care. I vaguely heard from colleagues that Taylor Company was going to open a branch here. For some reason, Taylor Company designated our company as a long-term partner, and everyone's salary went up accordingly. Looking at the numbers on the pay slip, I just smiled and moved on. Maybe this is how the rich make up for things? Simple and straightforward. Christmas came quickly. I vaguely remember that Sophia Taylor and I became a couple on Christmas. But that was a long time ago. Recently, with good performance, the boss has been in a good mood and generously gave us a holiday. I excitedly bought a lot of delicious food and called my mom to tell her she didn't need to cook. Carrying several bags of food on my way home, I saw Sophia Taylor in the park by the roadside. She was still very beautiful. "Ethan," she called out to me, and out of politeness, I stopped. "Merry Christmas." I nodded. "Same to you. There's no snow this Christmas." She said out of the blue, but I knew what she meant. When we first got together, we promised to watch the snow together every Christmas. Yeah, no snow. Some things are just really helpless. Sophia Taylor listened to me, tears falling to the ground. "So, next Christmas, can we watch the snow together?" I shook my head. "Sophia, we already made things clear some time ago. Let's not do this again. Ending it is the best outcome for us." Her eyes dimmed. I didn't know what to say either, so I took an apple out of the bag and handed it to her. "I'm home by." After taking a few steps, I heard Sophia Taylor talking to herself with a sobbing voice. "I will never celebrate Christmas again." Taylor Company really opened a branch. But not long after, news broke that Mr. Wilson from the branch office got into trouble. It was said to be a scandalous affair, meeting a client at a hotel at night and getting caught by the client's husband. His photos spread all over the internet. Taylor Company bailed him out, but their performance took a big hit. After some time, it was heard that Mr. Wilson stole something from the company and was taken to the police station. This time, it was the female CEO of Taylor Company who personally dealt with him. I heard they were originally engaged, and now it's come to this. Sigh. Matters of the rich, we don't understand. After overhearing my colleagues' gossip, I shook my head and went back to work. Later on, it seemed my boss had started a new company overseas and simply handed this company over to me. It was really handed over. So, inexplicably, I became the person in charge of a company. I know whose handiwork is behind this, but in the end, I still refused and devoted myself wholeheartedly to managing the company for the boss. My network expanded, and I heard even more gossip. At a certain party, I heard news about Taylor's company again. I heard that the female CEO married into another family, but the other party is a playboy who doesn't love her at all. They're just a couple in name only. To continue the bloodline, she had to get pregnant, but the other party was uncooperative. She went to great lengths to get closer, begging him softly to go see the snow together, only to be mocked face to face by that playboy and his gold digger. Earlier, Mr. Wilson, who had committed theft, for some reason started pestering her again. Love life full of hardships, how pitiful. I smiled, toasted the other person with a glass of wine, and turned to leave. I received a message from my mom on my phone. She was worried I would feel unwell after drinking, so she had already prepared some hangover soup at home. I finally smiled happily. This kind of life is enough.